Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business Interview. I'm Sean Aylmer. Listeners to this podcast would know I'm a very big fan of financial advisors. Every day we're insisting that listeners get professional advice to help them make good investment decisions. That's why I love research like this that calculates the actual value of an advisor in Australia. It's an annual report released by Russell Investments, a leading global investment management and solutions partner, which is a great supporter of this podcast. Neil Rogan is the Managing Director, Head of Distribution at Russell Investments. Neil, welcome to Fear and Greed.
Thank you, Sean.
The value of an advisor report. It's been around for 7 years. Why does Russell Investments produce it?
Yeah, Sean, we've been doing this, as you said, for 7 years, and really it emanated from us. We'd been doing it globally for around a decade, and then during around 2018 in Australia, where a lot of advisors had been, almost beaten up, we wanted something that showed our support not only to advisors, but also to consumers around both qualifying and quantifying the value advisors provided, and also to provide a toolkit for advisors to help them build their confidence in what they were providing, particularly at a time when the industry was, I won't say suffering, but was going through enormous change. And now we're out the other side of that. A lot of advisors and their clients really are resonating with this report and clearly understand a lot of value that an advisor is providing to them.
Yeah, I think that's really important. What I like about the report, I understand why it's good for a person like me, but I also see the benefits for a financial advisor. The report found the total value of an advisor in Australia is approximately 5.7%. Now, that's just a number. What does it mean? We're not actually talking about investment returns here. We're talking about something totally different.
Yeah, an advisor is going to help you with a whole range of things, ranging from your asset allocation all the way through to identifying opportunities around, tax and tax-effective investing. And what this report demonstrates is that if you add, asset allocation, managing someone's behaviours, helping you manage choices and trade-offs, and really positioning their expertise in tax planning advice, that's the 5.7%. In addition, probably to the investment return that your asset allocation that matches your risk profile is going to give you. But also, in addition to that, there may be some individuals where some of these elements may be of a higher value to some individuals, depending on their circumstance.
So let's just break down some of those elements. So it's A plus B plus C plus E plus T. A starting with asset allocation. Just quickly run us through those.
Yep. So asset allocation, really, we find that close to 62% of Australians are in their default superannuation plan. And often, that default doesn't match their true risk profile. So sitting down with an advisor or a professional who can step them through what their true risk profile is. But in addition to that, it's also maybe now we're in a stage of having a range of sustainable funds, also aligning maybe to their values as well.
Yep.
So either also, so it's risk return as well as potential values now. And so really sitting down with a professional going through that. And not only does it give the investor the investment that they're looking for, but probably also provides them with a lot more confidence around understanding what they're investing in and ensuring that's aligned to where they want to go in their future.
Okay, so B, which is behavioural coaching, which is something that you probably don't think a lot about, but it's really important.
Oh, behavioural coaching, I would say, is one of the most important. So behavioural coaching, we're valued that at around 3.3%. And really the role of an advisor here is to ensure investors are invested during the market, stay invested in during the market downturns and also during the upside as well, and that they're staying the course. And in the report, and also just more broadly, we give the example of, an individual who went to cash in March of 2020. The value of that cash, if they'd stayed in cash today, if you had $100, stayed in cash from March 2020 to pretty much today, the value of that cash would be worth around $75. versus staying invested, it'd be upwards of around $124. So, you see those kinds of examples and know that, it's about time in the market rather than trying to time the market.
Yep.
And I'm sure you've heard from many clients that say, well, I'm going to go to cash and I'm going to invest my money back in the market when. And it's always when, Donald Trump or whatever gets elected, and then it'll be, I'll invest that after Christmas. And then it'll be, I'll wait till the financial year.
Yeah. Suddenly you're out of the market.
Yeah, exactly. And we've done some research about missing the best 40 days of the market. So over a 10-year period, you miss the best 40 days of the market, you're losing 32% of the value of your money versus staying invested, where you're upwards of 113%. So,
wow. Okay, so that's A plus B plus C. C is about choices and trade-offs.
Oh, yeah. Choices and trade-offs is really interesting. And so if you look at, various life stages of people, I'll use myself as an example. I've got 2 young boys, lovely wife, those kinds of things. And, I'm at the stage where I've got to understand, the costs around education. And so as much as, for the cost of educating 2 boys in Sydney at a reasonably decent school, private school or something.
Expensive, Neil. Yeah. Expensive, I think, is the answer to that
there
one.
There goes the annual European holiday, Sean, that I've always been following the sun. So that's a choice and a trade-off, my wife and I have made to educate our children. So choices and trade-offs become really important because there's now a decade where we're foregoing these things, maybe a holiday, a new car, renovations to the home for the price of education. And so sitting down with an advisor who you trust, who can step you through not only the choices, these types of choices, but also the trade-offs and maybe deferring things for a later period of time, the value of that can be variable. And so in the report, we've rated that as variable. And if I look at myself, we're deferring these things for around a decade.
Stay with me, Neil. We'll be back in a minute. I'm speaking to Neil Rogan, Managing Director, Head of Distribution at Russell Investments. Okay, so A plus B plus C plus E, E being expertise. And that, I think, is where financial planners and financial advisors really come into their own.
Oh, yes. This, we rate as priceless. And that's because, the financial advisor acts as, a guide, a guru, and a gladiator. And, if I start with gladiator, it'd be fair to say that most grandparents love their grandchildren more than their children. And so as a gladiator, how does the financial advisor structure assets and the estate planning so that, the right funds go into the right hands at the right time, particularly, in that situation? And also, how do they have asset protection at that age where we see an increasing incidence of elder abuse? You look at, the guru side of things. Financial advisors hold a lot of information in their day-to-day head that they've accumulated through talking to many, many clients over many years, and even younger advisors with the training that they have. And a lot of the information they have around, superannuation contributions, insurances, asset allocation, all these things are almost seen as guru moments for clients in terms of information that they wouldn't readily have access to. And so, the advisor in many cases is a guru with the kind of information they can provide. And then finally, the guide, if you've got a goal, how you get guided to achieving that goal. As I said, in our case, it's about educating our children and, how we achieve that goal. And then I can follow the sun, Sean.
Then you can, maybe a little while yet. Final one is T, A plus B plus C plus E plus T. Not surprising, tax-savvy planning.
Yep. As we know, most Australians don't like paying more tax than what they should. I think there was a very wealthy Australian who once championed that on behalf of many Australians.
You did.
He's no longer with us, but tax-savvy planning is really important. It starts at the kind of underlying investments you have that your advisor puts you in, all the way through to being able to access certain tax benefits. For elderly clients or elderly investors, it's maybe accessing the pharmaceutical benefits scheme and those kinds of things. For those as young families, it's around getting the childcare rebates, but also understanding the opportunities that sit around salary sacrifice and those kinds of things. The type of tax savings by salary sacrificing, even just a little bit, if you're on a median income into superannuation, can make a big difference over a decade.
So A plus B plus C plus E plus T, been through them all. Do all advisors offer all of them?
Advisors may offer all of these things through the lifetime of the client, and they may focus on different elements of these at different points of a client's life cycle. So, depending on where you are as an investor or as a potential client of a financial advisor, your advisor may cover all of these, maybe in the initial meeting, and then focus on particular ones at different points in time. But in the main, what matters most is that an advisor is likely to put you in a better position than where you are today over a period of time.
Neil, thank you for talking to Fear and Greed.
Pleasure.
That was Neil Rogan, Managing Director, Head of Distribution at Russell Investments, which is a great supporter of this podcast. This is the Fear and Greed Business Interview. Join us every morning for the full episode of Fear and Greed, business news for people who make their own decisions. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your day.